Very good morning, friends. So, I hope you're all safe and healthy. Well, as a part of the hedge accounting series, I have already taken two videos on this. One was on the introduction, and then I came to the step number one out of the 5-step model. And today we're going to discuss a little in detail as far as step number two is concerned. The step number two is identifying the hedging instrument. What do you mean by hedging instrument? It is, you can say, the instrument which is used for hedging the hedged item. Just to recall once again, if you remember, we were talking in terms of the investment which is made in a debt instruments, and the investment which is made in a debt instruments is supposed to be a hedged item. And when you enter into a derivative contract, the derivative contract is what we call a hedging instrument, which shall be used to hedge the risk associated with the hedged item. Now let's find out in detail about the step number two. सीए फाइनल में इस बार एग्जाम तो खैर पोस्टपोन हो गए, लेकिन इंस्टीट्यूट ने दो मॉक टेस्ट सीरीज इशू की थी, एक मार्च की और एक अप्रैल सीरीज। अप्रैल सीरीज जो लेटेस्ट सीरीज आपकी आई हैं उसकी डिस्कशन आपके साथ करूंगा मैं 18th, 19th और 20th को 11 से 12 बजे स्पेशल क्लासेस में, और उस क्लासेस के लिंक आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में मिलेंगे और आप इन क्लासेस को बिल्कुल फ्री अनलॉक कर सकते हैं। मेरा कोड इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं CAKB10। तो MTP अप्रैल सीरीज का जो फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग पेपर है उसके 3 पार्ट्स की हम डिस्कशन करेंगे 11 से 12, 18th, 19th और 20th मई को। तो आइए लेट्स क्रैक इट। Well, just like the step number one, when you were looking at a hedged item, we said that there are certain items which are qualified to be hedged items. In a similar way, when you look at a hedging instrument which will be used to hedge the risk of the hedged item, Index 109 gives us a list of items which can qualify to be hedging instruments. Number one, all the derivatives which are measured at a fair value through P&L. But when I say all derivatives, it does not mean all derivative, there is an exception. And also we could use non-derivative financial assets or financial liabilities which are measured at FVTPL. But as I said, there is one particular exception which cannot be considered to be as a hedging instrument, and that is written options. When we would have taken a position where you can say a short position in terms of option contract, then we say it's a written options, and they cannot be designated as hedging instruments because they are hedged items in themselves. We need to basically, minimize the risk associated with these written options. So they would rather be hedged items rather than being considered as hedging instruments. Another similar question, just like we did in step number one, what comes to the mind is that can we consider a component of an item to be hedging instrument, just like a hedged item can be, hedged either in entirety or a component can be hedged. Is it also possible that we use the hedging instrument only a component of that hedging instrument is used? And the answer is yes. A qualifying instrument must be designated either in its entirety, but there are exceptions where a component of a hedging instrument can be used for the purpose. And there are a total of 3 exceptions which are given. Now this is a little technical part which needs a little knowledge on the financial management aspect as well. The first is separating the intrinsic value and the time value of an option contract. Now if you remember, in terms of SFM, you know that as far as the value of an option contract is concerned, it has got 2 components. One is the time value of the option and one is the intrinsic value of the option. Now in this particular case, the standard Index 109 clearly tells us that you could designate only the change in the intrinsic value of the option and not the time value. That means we could use only the intrinsic value of an option contract as a hedging instrument. Similarly, just like an option contract, in terms of a forward contract, there are two elements of a forward contract. One is called the forward element and the other is called the spot element. And the entity could use the hedging instruments only the change in the value of the spot element and not the forward element. So we use only the spot element of the forward contract as a hedging instrument. And the third exception is a proportion of the entire hedging instrument, 50% of the nominal amount. That means we consider only the certain proportion of the cash flows of the hedging instrument for the purpose of the hedging relationship. So I think we've reached now a consensus in terms of step number 1 and 2. Step number 1 is hedged item. The item which you want to basically hedge, you want to reduce the risk in terms of fair value changes or the cash flow changes. And the instrument which is used to hedge the risk is called the hedging instrument. And in both cases, you could consider the instrument in entirety, or the instrument may be considered only a component may be considered. So we need to, first of all, zero down that the hedged item is a qualifying hedged item. The hedging instrument is supposed to be a qualifying hedging instrument. So now we're going to take up the step number 3 in the next session with you. Thank you.